Hey YouTubers, how y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing okay. Well, I've been doing some rearranging on the MagLoop. If you've been watching the channel, and you caught my video on the ham gadget, it's just the last video I just released. It's a nice little kind of synthesizer thing for your ham shack if you like something like that. But I had this orientated the other way, and I wanted to show you guys how I got it orientated this way, and you can see it's a little crooked up there, just a little, just testing it. This is the way I'm gonna keep it, guys, right here. uh, I made another video and it was tilted this way. I made the video, watched it, and after using it this way, I realized I'm not going to show that video. I wanted to I'll explain a little bit to you guys over here about what this does. It hooks up the same way that I had it before. This one here is now orientated through the NULL of the bigger loop, and the way I had it before was in this part here, the two tips each end was here and there, okay, and that was not good. It was not a functioning, it'll function, but it was, the radiation pattern was really off, and I'll explain it to you guys here. I hooked it up this way, I spun it around, and now it radiates, well, when it was vertical, it radiated this way, okay, along with the big one. And then I tilted it on its horizontal, it still radiates the same way. It still radiates off the sides here, okay? And what's cool is that it's in the same orientation as the big loop. So if the big loop's orientated that way, then this one's the same way. It's orientated the same way. So that's kind of a plus I noticed. Using it horizontal, guys. If you got a MagLoop, and especially a figure of 8 loop, you need it horizontal. It is way better horizontal than it is vertical. Vertical is reliable. I know what the radiation pattern does, okay, but the horizontal is way better, especially on sideband. Made a contact on sideband 28.400 or something, somewhere up in there, just calling CQ on sideband, and first contact was in Washington on the on the west coast out there, and he said I had a little bit of a pile up of guys wanting to talk, but I couldn't hear him, and I'll explain that to you, okay? I had it orientated this way, okay, guys? The figure of 8 here was orientated this way, and it really messed up the radiation pattern. And let me explain it. I'm going to draw it out for you so you can understand it, what it did to it, to the loop. It worked. It received really well. It still receives really good this way. I want to show you guys, before I step over here and show you guys this, I want to talk to you about sideband, guys. If you're talking sideband, you need a horizontal antenna, okay? It's going to help you. It's going to make you better, make you louder. If you use a vertical antenna, guys, on sideband, okay, you're going to lose dB, decibels, because vertical doesn't go sideways very well. So it'll do its flip-flop thing in the way that the wave works. It flips back and forth as it's going through the air, it's flopping like this also. So, but if you're using horizontal antenna, you use it on sideband. Sideband is excellent for that's upper and lower. Okay, and guys, that includes FT8 because FT8 is on your upper sideband. You're going to get be a little bit louder on your signal. You won't need to pump as much wattage. You know, you can drop your wattage even further. Um, uh, Using the vertical out there, you know, I got the Corporal DX out there, the 6 meter kind of DX Commander style antenna, vertical. Uh, it it does FT8, yes, it does all that, but it's noisy as hell compared to this MagLoop. Uh, what's funny, I'll show you guys on the radio here. Let me turn it down. I'll show you guys here on the radio. You see the noise floor right there, right? If I switch to the MagLoop, I'm wanting to do this all the time. Look down in there to see where in the hell the noise floor went. I'm like, well, where is it? You can even see things poking up on the scope, okay, right there. But you barely see anything on this scope. Now, I will tell you, this scope is not the best, guys, but it does work. So, but what's weird is when you go to the MagLoop, man, it just drops it out. You're just kind of wanting to look down in there and say, where did that noise floor go? Because it just drops it way out. And I found a trick with running a MagLoop. Always run a preamp. You can run a preamp and still be less noisier than that vertical out there. I can run a preamp on this on this and still be less noise floor than that vertical is. So that's just something to clue you guys in there. But you guys can talk vertical, okay? Everybody does it. DX Commander does it. He uses a vertical and talks sideband all the time, okay? You can do it. It's if you're going to talk sideband, you want horizontal, okay? That's the preferred antenna, or you know, the preferred mounting position for sideband use. So that's what you want to use for sideband, and to make you louder. You can go further. It's a better for you, okay? Now the figure of 8, okay? I'm figuring this out, guys, using it. Let me sit down here. This figure of 8, right? Because the way that it's designed, really, to be honest, it's just a little bit smaller than the big loop, okay? It's just a little bit smaller than that. But when you twist it like that, it's still the same length, right? But you're getting double the surface area, double the contact area of where that wave is coming through, right? So you're getting contact here, you know. You're getting more surface area, more contact area for your signal. And man, when I turned it horizontal this way, man, the receive really came up on it. I was the received signals got louder. So if you got a figure of 8 loop, if you want to make a figure of 8 loop and you want to put it on its side, that's perfectly fine. You're going to do just fine with it. Most everything you're going to use that for is going to be sideband. If you want to talk FM or something like that, jump on a vertical. Talk FM, man, you'll be doing real good. FM, even AM on a vertical, you'll be doing real good, okay? But you can also talk AM sideband. It's just you're not going to be as loud. If you're talking horizontal, okay, you're not going to be as loud to the people on a vertical that are using verticals, okay? But if you're on a horizontal and you're on sideband, you're going to be better received and a little bit better audio, decibel wise, dB wise. So that's just something for you guys to keep in mind. And FT8 is sideband, so keep that in mind. Let's see. I wanted to tell you that because some people, there's a lot of people out there that may not know that the difference between using a vertical and a horizontal antenna. Okay, If you want to talk FM, AM, jump on your vertical, okay? Now, if that's all you got is a vertical, you can still talk sideband. You just may not be as loud, okay? You'll still get signal out there, still talk to people, but you're just going to know that your decibel level is going to be a little bit lower, and you're not going to be as loud as what you could be using a horizontal antenna. And that's why I left this one like that and this one like this, okay? The reason why is this one's a lot smaller in a package wise because it's got a smaller capacitor, and I do have a motor for it, guys. So here is the motor. Getting ready to mount it now, but before I get it all done, I know you guys are wanting measurements, okay? I've gotten a lot of people wanting measurements of all this. The reason why I haven't really give you a really good breakdown of all the parts and all that is because I'm not done with it. Never glue anything, guys. That's why I just stick it together. Everything's movable, okay? That's why you don't glue nothing. You just stick it together, test with it, do your testing, find out if that's where your capacitors want to be, because you got to remember you're going to put them in a waterproof box. So see, this is not going to work. If I want to put this in a box, look at how tight it is, see? So I'm going to have to move this. I'm going to have to redesign stuff here. So that's why I haven't given you a total measurement. If you go back in my MagLoop series, I do give you some measurements there, guys. I have a tape measure out, and I measure that across, and that'll get you close. That'll be just fine. You don't have to be perfect on this, okay? Your so to speak money is going to be right here. Your capacitors. Those things are getting damn expensive now, so you know, that's where a lot of your money's going to be. The copper wire's cheap. So but that's why I haven't given any measurements out yet and stuff, because I'm not really done with it. Alright, now I will show you this upgrades. Yay. Okay, we got upgrades now because we kind of moved it from being horizontal and in a nice weighted position, right, to out here now. Boy, she got really top heavy there. So I had to get a wider footprint and a little bit heavier concrete, a little bit more concrete, made it heavier. And now she does good. It almost fell over on me twice using this, guys, because it's just so, you know, once it starts to give, it just goes. So I had to update that. I'm gonna stick that outside on the Corporal DX, and you know, maybe leave it in here for testing or something. I might do that. But the wider footprint, she's a lot more solid now. You can actually give her a little, and boy, she likes to sway, man. Yeah, it'll definitely have to be glued all together by the time I get it done. But future update, being that this is a main shaft, okay, this is the main support for the whole antenna. There is coax running through the middle of that. So I'm going to have to end up getting this moved over here, alright, and then we'll move this into place so that I can have room for a box, alright. So I'm still going to run the secondary pole up here for support, I believe. I don't know, that'll have to be something we'll have to play around with, because it really needs some support. I don't know. So that's going to be like future upgrades. So that's going to like change everything, guys, on the measurements and stuff. So that's one reason why I haven't done anything. But, you know, I do want to show you the connections, guys. You know, it's no difference, okay? If I get down here, and I'll show you. We're just making a loop right there, okay? That's all we're doing. So you can see right there, those are just connected there, and it just continues around. And then so one end You take one end, stick it to one side of the capacitor, and the other end to the other side of the capacitor, and then you connect the other two ends together to make your 8 loop. Okay, that's all you're doing. So really the loop is up there at the top one. It is right there. That is the actual loop where it's connected together. And then you can see the connection coming down from the capacitor. I'll take you back up top, guys, don't worry. The connection for the capacitor comes down, and it comes down to the plate side of here. So you can see that's the plate side that doesn't move. They call it the plate, okay? That doesn't move, so it sits there like a plate. And we did the plate side of that one to the plate side of this one that doesn't move, okay? And then over here, this is the side that moves, okay? And we did bring it down to the side that moves, okay? Alright, and that's pretty much it. These are connected the same, okay? One to one loop, one side of the loop, one to the other side of the loop over there. That's it, right there, okay? And then up here, see, it's the same connections. Those two are together at one point on the capacitor, and I had to custom make this piece right there. I had to custom make that piece so I could connect them together and still get it connected at the base. So there's your one connection to one side of the capacitor, and then there's your other side, okay, connected. All right, pretty simple. You can see how it's laid out there. I want to make sure you guys can actually see this. Because a lot of people watch my channel. I've gotten emails from people saying, man, I watch your channel because you actually show the connections. So there we go. We're bringing that one down to this side of the capacitor, and then this one here, like I showed you before, goes to this side of the capacitor, and that's it. That's all we're doing. And then because we connected them together here down to this capacitor, now they're kind of locked together now, and they share. And I can still, all I got to do is get this one close to the sound, and you hear the sound come up, and then I can use this capacitor using the remote over here, using the remote tuner, and tune the standing wave. Okay, so you got two antennas, basically, two pieces of coax coming down, two pieces of coax. One is the big antenna, one is the small antenna, but they share the capacitance between them because they're locked in a magnetic field. They're sharing their fields. And so you basically got an all-band antenna with two connections, and being able to share capacitance between the two. So that's how this is working. And this one's being horizontal. I love it being horizontal. I'm not quite finished with it yet. I'd hope to get it on the computer for you guys and show you how this works, okay? But let me explain what happened. When I had it turned this way, okay, guys, the ends right here were really close to here, to this side of it. So let me jump you over here. So what happened was, it's kind of funny. It was I could see it on PSK Reporter, okay, and using PSK Reporter and also Grid Tracker, okay, and I could see the radiation. I could see what was going on. I knew something was up whenever I was on FT8, and FT8 the grid tracker was showing some weird dots showing up that I'd never seen before. So what had happened was, okay, we got our loop. If we're gonna look down on it from the top, okay, so we got our loop here, right? We got at that time we had them both kind of together like that inside there. Now what was happening was the most of the energy was going off the end of it there and hitting that other loop, okay. And what it was doing, I call it splatter, all right. And what happens is that signal gets really lobed out, and it's not a nice radiation pattern. It's not a nice, lobe of energy coming back like this, okay. It's not a nice lobe like that, all right. What happened was that way that it was orientated in there, it was hitting this and it was doing one of these. And man, it was really getting out there as far as DX wise. I was pinging off South Africa like every 15 seconds of tones, man. They were just pouring in. I'd go out there and move that antenna 2 degrees and they'd be gone. And I'd be like, what in the world's going on? Well, what was happening is this thing was lobing out real bad like this. And my guess is down here on the ends, it was short lobing like this bad because I was getting some local, really close locals. And PSK was showing the same thing. Well, what happens is if you get lobes like this, guys, all right, it's just not good. Um, your radiation, you can do some serious DX with something like this because if you pinpoint that, if you got a rotor, you can pinpoint that one guy, and then you can just bang in there right on him, and that's far away because these lobes, the way that's working, these lobes are really reaching out there, but what happens is you lose everything in between, and it creates dead zones, and man, it's terrible for DXing because that guy may be hearing you, and your antenna's 2 degrees off or whatever. You can just budge it like that, and he'd be there, and then all of a sudden it wouldn't be there. So that's what it was doing, guys. It was doing that serious spall. I call it spalling, and it showed on FT8 and PSK Reporter. So I moved it today, all right, and I switched it around, all right, so you guys can understand that, that you want a nice lobe if you can, figure of 8, something like that. Maybe, you don't want these really sharp peaks. You want nice little rounded lobes coming off there like such. That's what you want. And that's what gives you good clear signal and good radiation. Now, you can get a DX antenna, that'll really lobe out sideways like this. It'll really lobe out there like that. Now, that's a super good DX antenna because you want to make that one directional. And that's usually a beam antenna that somebody's using, that gets that kind of pattern. But this pattern is great for vertical if you're using a vertical. So but that's what that was doing, guys. It was spalling out there. I call it spalling, and man, you got big dead zones in the middle of those spalls, and because it was starting to pick up local, that's how I kind of knew it was spalling. It was really starting to dot locals around me, so that's when I knew. And what it was it was just because this was turned the opposite way like that, guys, and it was too close to this, and it was just giving it a bad radiation pattern. So by turning it this way now, the most of the energy is going to be out here on the ends, okay, right in here, okay, and because it's figure of 8 and the capacitor's in the middle, you're getting a ball of energy right here too. So basically what you're doing is creating a figure of 8 larger. Just think about it, guys, in this figure of 8 pattern is what I just drew out there, right? On this. See, you want that nice lobe. You know, nice. If you can get this long one, that'd be good for DX. That's also doable with a MagLoop. So, really doable. But that's what you're doing with that. Think about it. You're just creating, you're creating that pattern in small scale. Is what you're doing right there. And by me having that turn, boy, it was screwing that all up. It was like, I didn't like it. So by me turning it around, I set it outside today, and oh my gosh, I've never received in places that it was starting to receive from. So I know that it's working really well. Receive wise, I did transmit with it, but the pattern was not good today. The propagation was not good, but I did make a couple contacts. So I'm going to keep working on it for a couple weeks, well, for about a week or so, and try to get it outside more, and keep you guys updated on that. So, but yeah, I just wanted to step you through and let you guys see, you know, this is probably the way I'm going to build it. I'm going to add that to it and get it straightened up and whatever, and get the capacitor in a place where I can get it weatherproofed. But there you go, guys. I hope you enjoy watching this MagLoop stuff, and I'll keep explaining this stuff to you, and you can build right along with me if you want. So I hope that helps. You know, explain a little bit about your propagation and how that, and your radiation patterns on your antennas, and how you can use PSK reporter and all that for finding that out about your own antenna. So it does help. So there you go, guys. I'm gonna cut this one short because my video editing software is not good. It's called Open Shot, and I call it Open Shit because it takes my high def video and turns it to grainy looking crap. And yeah, anyway. So if you guys have any comments on video editing software that is good, that's free, other than the Open Shot, I call it Open Shit. But other than that, could you comment down there for me, or leave a comment, maybe a link where I could find it, and I'd appreciate it, because I may need some help with that. I've got a new camera, and I can't get it to look good because the video editing software is not performing correct. So the settings are fine, guys. It's just not utilizing my graphics card. It wants to do CPU only, and it errors out trying to use the graphics card. It's really a poor program, I think. I don't know. But anyway, if you guys have any comments on that video editing, maybe give me a shout out there and let me know. And try to hit the like button if you can, guys, because it helps the algorithm, and make sure you hit subscribe and the little bell. That helps too. So but anyway, I hope you guys like the MagLoop, and this is probably the way we'll keep it. So there you go, guys. Anyway, I'll be back with you on another episode of this one probably, and hopefully it'll be outside working. Alright, guys, 73s to you.